All right, more trinomials. So this time we are going to do trinomials that have an a value that is greater than 1. So last time we did ones where there really wasn't an a value and you figured out what multiplied to get c and added to get b. This time we have an a value, so there's a little bit of a different process with it. So my remember thing here, remember that a is in front of the x squared, the b is in front of the x, and then the c is our constant out here. So I recommend, until you get really used to it, I would label them. This is, the 2 is a for this example we're going to do, 13 is b, and 15 is c, okay? So the first thing it says to do, part A, it says to factor out the GCF if there is one. So this one, that was very bizarre. Something buzzed and I don't know what it was. Okay, anyways, all right, so we want to, okay, GCF, there is no GCF, there's no greatest common factor. And the reason I know that is 2, 13, and 15, there's nothing that all of those can divide by. So I'm just going to put, it's just not available, not applicable for this example, okay? So part B, step B, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, it says to multiply A and C. So I'm going to take A and I'm going to multiply it by C, which is 15. And I get 30 from that, right? Okay. So then it says to find what multiplies to get AC and adds to get B. So this is a similar thought process of what multiplies to get C and adds to get B, but this time we're doing what multiplies to get that AC combo of 30 in this case, but adds to get B. So just like I did on the other notes, a little chart can be helpful. If you don't need the chart, that's fine. But I want to find what multiplies to get 30, but adds to get our B value, which is 13 in this case, and then a positive 13, right? So, all right, so let's think of some things that multiply to get 30. Well, there's 30 and 1. Well, there's no way those two can create 13. Then there's 3 and 10. Oh, well, 3 and 10, yeah, that can add to get 13, right? So that's my combo that I want. So I'm going to just circle that. So it says for part D here, it says replace B with the combination you just found. So what that is telling me to do is I have my A value, my 2x squared, and then instead of B, so instead of that 13x, I'm going to put in 3 and the 10, and so on. I'm putting x's next to them because that 3x plus 10x, that is 13x, right? So all I'm doing is I'm pulling that 13 apart into two different numbers, and then I have my 15, my c value still there. Okay, so I've got that, and so part E, it says to factor by grouping now, and the reason I'm going to do grouping is I have 4 terms, right? So I'm gonna rewrite it down here to show my work. And so I'm gonna group it. So I'm gonna group those two together, and those two. So my greatest common factor between 2x squared and 3x, well, 2 and 3 can't divide by anything. And then I look at my x's. I have x squared and x. Oh, well, those each have an x, so I'm gonna take x out. And I'm left with 2x and 3. And so just to, I'm dividing each of those by x. Okay. And then for this one, my greatest common factor between 10 and 15 would be 5. There's no x's to take out because 15 doesn't have an x. Oh, and so if I divide each of those by 5, sorry, I'm writing really tiny, but well, 10 divided by 5 is 2, and then I still have my x there. 15 divided by 5 is 3. So I know I've done something right because these match, right? So my answer is, and tiny down here, sorry, I didn't put as much room as I should have. I get x plus 5, so my two things from the outside, and then my two matching parts will just come into 1 there. So that's my answer. Okay. And I can kind of just quickly check myself just a little bit to make sure that x times 2x, that gives me 2x squared. That gives me my a value. And then my 5 and my 3, that gives me 15. That's just a quick check. I'm not even worrying about the 13 right now, but just to kind of make sure I have at least some of it right. So I'm looking good there. All right, so let's try these here. So I have my 2 is my A, -7 is B, and 3 is C. So my first step is to multiply 2 and 3. So what I like to do sometimes to show my work, but not like, I don't know, make it too long. So I'm just going to be like, hey, those two link together. That gives me 6, right? So I'm going to make my little chart. I need something that multiplies to get 6, but adds to get -7. So, well, things that multiply to get 6 and add to get 7, the only combo I can think of is 6 and 1. But I need it to multiply to get a positive 6, but add to get a -7. So I need to make both of them negative in order for that to work. So that works now. So those are my numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break B into those. So I'm going to write my A value out. I'm going to put, instead of the B value of -7x, I'm this time making it -6x and -1x. So I'm taking those numbers from my chart and then adding my C value there. So I've got 4 terms, so I can break it into grouping. Take out my greatest common factor between 2x squared and -6x. And 2 and 6 can both divide by 2. Actually, I'm going to screw this. Well, no. 2, and then they each have an x. So 2x squared divided by 2x leaves me with just x. -6 divided by that 2 gives me a -3, and the x went away. Then looking at this next one, -1x and 3. So I'm like, that looks super similar to my x minus 3, but the signs are opposite, right? So anytime the signs are opposite, I can take out a -1, and that'll leave me with a positive x, but a -3. So my answer is 2x minus 1. I'll take my two things out in front, and then my matching, and there we go. Okay. All right, so next, I'm gonna do just with a little less, I don't know, a little less stuff added to it. Let's just kind of jump into it. My 3 and my -5, that multiplies to get -15. So I need to figure out, multiplies to get -15, but adds to get 14. Oops, I wanted that a different color, sorry. So let's see, what could add to get 14, multiply to get -15? Well, 15 and 1 makes sense, right? That's a comma, by the way. So how can I get a positive 14 but a -15? Well, if I make my 1 negative, that gives me a positive 14. So 15 and -1. So I've got my 3x squared. Now I just want to make sure those don't blend together. So I've got 3x squared. So does it matter if I put the 15 or the -1 first? It does not. I will say some lend themselves easier to some of the other factoring, but really either way should work. So I'm just gonna, I don't know, I'm gonna put 15 there, the negative, oops, that should be positive 15, x, and then my -1x. And then I have my -5, and then I can group it. Greatest common factor between 3x squared and 15x would be 3x, so I'm going to take out a 3x. I'm off with x plus 5. Again, I have that another scenario they are the wrong sign, right? So I need to take out a -1, and I'm left with positive x plus 5. So my answer is my 3x minus 1, the two things I took out. And what is matching left over? There's my answer. Again, I can kind of check myself. 3x times x, that gives me my 3x squared right there. Well, that's good. My -1 times my 5 gives me my -5. So at least the front and the back one, A and C, are right, which means my B is probably right too. All right, so last one here. So this one, I'm like 18, 114, and 84. Those are big numbers, right? So anytime I get numbers that are beyond the like normal counting digits too much, meaning like 1 through 10, I probably have a greatest common factor in there somewhere. So that is what step A was way back at the beginning, is I need to look for the greatest common factor. So what is my greatest common factor? Well, 18, 114, and 84. So, you know, maybe I'm not great with my multiplication tables. I could start dividing them by 2, and that works. They're all even, but that's going to give me all things that still, again, could divide by 2. So I'm going to go bigger, and I could divide by 4, see if that works. And I keep working up until I get numbers that I know won't have any greatest common factor left with them. So my greatest common factor for all of these is 6. And I don't have any x's to take out because that 84 doesn't have an x. So what this is going to look like is I'm going to have 6, and then, it's a weird parenthesis, let me try that again. So 6, and then, so 18x squared divided by 6 is 3x squared. 114 divided by it would be 19x. And then I get minus 14 left. Okay, and I know I've taken out the greatest common factor because 3, 19, and 14, there's nothing that those can divide by. So I know I've taken out the greatest common factor, okay? So now that I've done that, now I need to go to that process I've been doing this whole time. So my A value is now 3. 19 is my B value. C is 14. So I want to multiply my A and my C. So multiplying those two, I get -42. So I want to figure out what multiplies to get -42, adds to get 19, because that's my B value. So I recommend, you know, just start at the beginning. 1 and 42. Is there any way that that can create 19? No. So that's not going to work. Then I go to 2 and 21. Is there any way 2 and 21 can create 19? Yeah, those could create 19 if the 2 is negative. So 21 and -2 are my combo. So I'm going to break my B value into those. Again, it really doesn't matter if I do the -2x or the 21 first. Make sure you put x's next to them, though. That is very important. Now I can group it. So I take out 3x. Just kidding. 3 and 2 cannot divide by 3. I'm not sure what I was thinking there. But I can take out an x still. So I take out x, and I'm left with 3x minus 2. 21 and 14 can divide by 7. And I get 3x minus 2. That looks weird, sorry. There we go. So my answer is the thing that's in front. And the things that match. And there's my answer. Oh, ooh, it's not totally my answer because I have the 6 that I took out. That 6 has to come back into play in front, because if I was to multiply all that out without it, there's no way I could get that 18 and that 114, right? So I need to have that 6 in front there. Now it's done. All right, so go ahead and try either the worksheet or the Brain Genie, and let me know if you have questions.